Next, Sachin Pilot joins me, senior leader, Congress. How is the Congress going to revive itself? What is the recipe you gave us from this AICC session in Ahmedabad that should indicate to observers that the Congress can revive itself, Sachin Pilot?
So this session, Rajdeep, as you mentioned in your story, was quite historic because in Gujarat, that's where the land of Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel. And the resolution that the Congress party adopted unanimously had a few things that are important for us to look at. One, that we have taken upon ourselves to be a constructive opposition. We will take the government to task. The year 2025 will be an year for organization to do a mass outreach program, mass contact program, reach out to the public, and empower our district units. This is going to be a different sort of a selection process than we've had previously. That's for the organization. But from the party standpoint, you mentioned earlier about caste census. I just want to reiterate, all we're looking for is a scientific way to have a head count where we know exactly who is living in what condition and what geographical areas. The budgetary allocations, the programs, the money that we spend is ad hoc. There is no scientific understanding or capturing of the effects of that spend unless we know who's placed how well. And I think the reservation issue, more than 7 or 8 states have already crossed the 50% limit. So let us understand that who are the ones who are deserving the most, use the scientific data to target those who need the help and support. Why should we bind ourselves with 50, 40, 60%? Let that be a total open census. And then we must know who's placed where. And I tell you, the gap between the rich and poor, I want to add one data point, Rajdeep. Today, 1% of India owns 40% of this country's assets. The top 10% Indians own 70% of India's assets. So the huge widening gap between rich and poor is a huge concern for all of us. And we want an equitable growth. We want to empower competition, empower young people, have investments, create jobs. The government has failed to do so. And we're doing the best we can to make sure the government lives up to its promises.
You know, Sachin Pilot, you mentioned organization. Let's come one by one. You mentioned this is going to be the year of the organization of the Congress. I've been hearing this for the last few years. I want to know what is so different. Every time for the last few years, I hear the Congress recognizes organization problem. We are going to strengthen the organization. The truth of the matter, it's not happened. So what is different this time compared to the past?
We have now adopted a resolution that says 50% of all party positions will go to people who are under the age of 50. Historic. We've never done this before. A former adoption by the Congress in Udaipur is being implemented. The backwards, the Dalits, the tribal, women, young people, minorities, they form the chunk of this population in India. We want to make sure they're in the front line of public policy. They're in the front line of party leadership. Give them those positions. And like I said to you earlier, empower the district units. This is something that we have now embarked upon just recently. So these are all new initiatives the Congress has taken in this AICC session in Ahmedabad.
No, but Sachin Pilot, I recall 2 years ago in Udaipur, the Congress said one person, one post. And yet we have several leaders, including Mallikarjun Kharge, who have more than one post. He's leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha and he's Congress president. You've said in the past that you will ensure that 50% of all posts will be OBCs, Dalits, Adivasis. There are still states where that does not happen. You speak of caste census. You have a state in Karnataka. You are in power there. Why don't you bring a caste census there? You see, the Congress, unless you walk the talk, people will wonder, are you really sincere and keen about bringing this dramatic change?
This change is brought from within. Nobody has asked us to do it. It was the leadership in the Congress party, Mr. Kharge, Mr. Gandhi, Mrs. Gandhi, who decided to bring up on these changes. In Telangana, we've actually implemented that.
No, you've done it?
Yes, we've done it in Telangana just recently. Hardly a month ago, we've done it in Telangana. And Karnataka will follow suit very, very closely. But a national census is what we're looking for. And the government is shying away from it. I think they want to keep people in the dark as to how they do allocations and allot money and what schemes and programs are going to be implemented. And I ask you, if today we have technology, we have the method and means to get scientific data, why should we not adopt that? Why must we not know what exactly are living conditions of people who are getting benefits? Perhaps if they've got enough, we can stop it. Perhaps those who are not got it, we must target those. And they can be a follow-up. They can be a outcome budget of what we've been spent. So this is something that we have asked as a party. And I think most people will agree that we must use the scientific technology at our disposal to serve the national interest. What is wrong with that?
No. So are you saying that the battles of the future will, because the BJP is very clear, clarity, Hindutva pitch. The Congress seems to be veering to the pitch that caste census will be the way we will combat Hindutva. There will be those who will say you are also playing divisive politics. Jitni abadi utna haq could mean tomorrow further division this time around caste. You accuse the BJP of dividing the country on community. They will in turn accuse you of dividing the country on caste. And OBCs, the Prime Minister himself is an OBC.
He only became OBC after becoming Prime Minister. When he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, he never mentioned about being OBC. And if you care to read our resolution, very clearly we've said, our constitution provides for every single Indian to have equal rights. No one can be discriminated on religion, caste, what food they eat, what clothes they wear. I think it's happening in India. There is a bipolarity. There is now a way of looking at things. People are being discriminated. Minorities, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs are being attacked. I think the sense of fear that is being, that has been inculcated. And also the institutions that we have nurtured for 75 years, systematically being eroded in a systematic way to make them more transparent, to let them not have biases in their functioning. That's what we're striving for. And we as opposition are within our rights to make sure that constitutional bodies are left from politics. And why, for example, is the way that you elect the chief election commissioner has been changed. It was Chief Justice, Leader of Opposition, and Prime Minister. Today, CJI is out. It's Minister, Prime Minister, and LOP. So 2-1, you always have your way. You always get your guy in position. We are saying, what was the need of tampering with the selection process of the Chief Election Commissioner, for example?
The Chief Election Commissioner, Mr. Pilot, during the Congress Raj, the Congress was accused of having its officers as election commissioners. But the question, Mr. Pilot, for example, you said you will raise the issue of minorities, Dalits. In the past, there's a sense the Congress is a little reluctant to take up issues of minorities for fear of being seen as anti-Hindu. That's what the BJP's Hindutva pitch has done. You're not willing to come out openly and speak out on certain issues. Is the Congress very clear that you will speak out on all these issues without fear of the BJP?
Rajdeep, I cannot be more clear. Every Indian citizen, if this nation is equal in the eyes of law, the Constitution has given us the right to be equal. Religion, caste, creed, sex, gender, food habits, cultural habits have nothing to do with it. And if anybody whose rights are being infringed upon, who's been brutalized, he or she needs to be protected. And if it's what's happening with the Waqf bill is a clear indication of how they want to divide the narrative in this country on Hindu and Muslim and Mandir and Masjid. Jobs, agriculture, investments, wealth creation, competition, this monopolistic attitude of running economic policies, they're all under question. But because the people in power today fail to hear the voice of the people or the opposition, they're carrying on. But ultimately, I think what we stand for, what our constitution stands for, what the Congress party strives to achieve is what people of India want to see.
One of the key questions is how do you address the youth population? I heard Shashi Tharoor's speech during your session where he said that we need to get the new voters back into the Congress fold. We need to increase our footprint in that sense. What are you offering as an attraction for new young voters, many of whom have gone with the BJP? They represent, many believe, the politics of aspiration. How will you attract the newer, younger demographic that is not worried about what the Congress did 100 or 150 years ago, but what will you do for them now and for the future?
Fair enough. We are a young country, and young people who are educated, who have the skill sets, need to be given that platform. They can display their imagination, their creativity. They can be gainfully employed and have proper competition. We must create wealth, but in the right ways and right means. People must have the opportunity to prove themselves. And today, I think what we need to do, Rajdeep, is India must live up to its potential. This youth dividend will become a liability very soon. If you're not able to deliver on our promises, if you're not able to get the young people motivated, and we as a Congress party represent a liberal, open atmosphere of debate, discussion, and disagreement. So today what is happening is that one shoe fits all, one ideology, one way of thinking, one way of talking is being forced upon people. But look at our colleges and campuses. Look at the fear this government has tried to create in the minds of young people. The divisions on religion are really now, are eating at the fault lines that already exist in our society. We have to come together as a nation. We can differ ideologically, but we can't do it at the cost of putting the country back. We have to look forward, be progressive, be liberal, be open-minded, be open to discussions and debates that are hardly happening today in campuses and colleges across the country.
But there is one elephant in the room, which is Rahul Gandhi himself. He's not the Congress president, but he was holding center stage today. I want to understand, how do you see Rahul Gandhi's role now? Is he an asset? Is he someone who's yet untested, as some suggest? Is he a liability? How is Rahul Gandhi seen by your party? Is he the face of the future? Is it Mallikarjun Kharge, an octogenarian? Or dare I say, is it the Sachin pilots of the world?
I think we're a team, Rajdeep, first and foremost. 2024 Lok Sabha election. I have no hesitation in saying that Mr. Rahul Gandhi's 4,000-kilometer Padyatra across the country really united not just the party, but also the country. And we raised our tally from 50 to 100. Credit of all that goes to Mr. Gandhi. I think we must appreciate the fact that he put himself out there in the face of everything that came at him. And Mr. Kharge is an elected Congress president, and Rahul Gandhi is leader of opposition. So as leader of the opposition, it is incumbent upon him to take on the prime minister. He's doing it, deliberately and diligently. He's one man who's taken on Mr. Modi in parliament and outside parliament. And the Congress party has fought its way through independence. We've lost 2 elections, but doesn't mean they will dictate the future of a Congress party. We have leadership at state level. We have central leadership. We have Mrs. Gandhi as party chairperson. All of us work together, consult, debate, discuss, and then formulate policies. But yes, he's leading from the front, a fearless man who has taken the entire state power of the government of India and yet not relented. I think we owe him that appreciation of leading the Congress party this far.
So he is your face, he is your mascot. The reason I'm asking you, there's a sense that the Congress party still lacks the aggression that it needs on the ground. It's one thing to be aggressive at a party session. The session is over, you all will go back to your various posts across the country. The Congress has become a lazy party. It's not passionate enough on the ground to take on a juggernaut like the BJP.
Congress party is a dynamic, flexible, vigilant Congress party. We are in the opposition, and I understand what our role is. We have been on the streets. You said we'll go back. I'm going to Patna day after for the Padyatra. Elections are coming in Bihar. We're fully prepared for that. And this whole year, 9-10 months, are focused on developing a cadre at the booth level to enthuse, encourage, and excite our Congress workers, get young people onto the fold. We are doing it as we speak. But this year, I think for the sake of repetition, this year is a organizational year. We have very few elections, Rajdeep. This year, we are focused on that. And believe you me, and I say this all the time, today's opposition is tomorrow's government.
Today's opposition is tomorrow's government. Where will Sachin Pilot be? Will he be still looking at that? What is your future in all of this, if I may ask? When will they empower the pilots of the world? Or will you still have the old guard?
Rajdeep, I think nobody can tell the future, neither you nor I. We can work in the present, and currently our job today is strengthen our party. Whatever jobs and responsibility I get from the party, I do it diligently. What the future holds, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. The Congress party will fight tooth and nail for our principles and convictions, and the people of country have a lot of faith and expectation from us, and we hope to deliver.
Sachin Pilot, for joining me while you're on the road. We will wait and see whether the Congress party walks the talk this time, particularly when it comes to organizational issues. But for now, for joining me, I appreciate it and appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.